Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, just as I said, hey, there seems to be a little bit of glimmer of hope in Australia. Yeah, the same day, crush, comes down some more news of a whole bunch of cancellations. But you know what? In North America, we still got some good news going on, and especially there are 4 ships having their naming ceremonies within the next 20 days. So that's right, we had that little glimmer of hope from the politicians in Australia saying that we need to come up with a phase plan. They started saying how they're going to have testing, they're going to have vaccine only, they're going to have cleaning protocols, you know, everything that the cruise lines are already doing where they're sailing, like on the very ship I'm on right now that have been doing this for months, you know, those protocols. Yeah, they're going to have those same protocols. Thank you, politicians, for coming up with that genius idea. I mean, if you're in Australia, you just must be pulling your hair out at some of the rhetoric you hear sometimes, like in some of these cases. But now we have Royal Caribbean had canceled their cruise line all the way up until next year. And now we have P&O Cruise Lines canceling all the way till February 14th, Valentine's Day, I think, right? And Princess going all the way to March 15th, I believe. So yeah, another 4, 5, 6 months before you're even going to see a glimmer of a possibility of cruising. That pretty much eliminates the Australian season for the 2nd year in a row. And yeah, it has not been anything promising. Once again, the cruise lines and CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, has come out and said, well, basically the reason is because the Australian government has no clear path or no guidance whatsoever on a phased restart or even any interest in restarting. So while we have a couple politicians out there coming out and saying, yeah, we are going to do this, we need to do this, in reality there has been zero movement still, unfortunately, and I feel so sorry. However, there is some good news for you folks in Australia. International travel is going to be allowed again very shortly, where you can now travel, fly someplace, take a cruise, and then fly back to Australia, and that's going to be okay, but you can't take a cruise in your own country, which is not okay. And that reminds me of when the Adventure of the Seas started up in Bahamas, where people in Florida could take a boat, a ferry, or fly to Bahamas, take a cruise, come back, fly back, and that was okay, but they couldn't leave from Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, etc. That seemed ridiculous to me, and this seems kind of ridiculous to me as well, but who am I? I'm just a cruise fan. Now, the good news here in North America is, as we know, the CDC's guidelines is supposedly a temporary order, and they did release some of those like guidelines and restrictions that are currently in there, like needing all the different documentations from all the different port authorities and all the different individual health and hotels and everything. Every hotel you're dealing with, you had to have this signed protocol. Now they eliminated that, so that's making things easier. They really are on their way, it seems, to starting to let the cruise industry now regulate themselves, come up with their own decisions going forward. I mean, if you look around the world, like the country, basically they're letting every state individually do their own decisions. They're letting, full stadiums now. They're letting indoor movie theaters. They're letting concerts go. I mean, zoos are opening. Disney, Walt Disney World, hotels, theme parks, everything else is opening, and they're guiding themselves. Why not the cruise industry? And I think we're finally going to see that come this January, and I would love it if it even came a little sooner, but I'll take January 15th. At least that's a good sign, and then the cruise lines might be able to get a few more ships started even sooner than they were planning on doing so. I also want to talk about those 4 ships that are being basically brand new ships and having their inaugural sailing ceremonies. And yeah, but before I do that, I'm just gonna invite you to hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with all things cruising, with the news, with vlogs, with the cruise updates, with the ship updates, and all things like that. It really does help the channel out. I can't stress that enough. It just tells YouTube, hey, people are watching this video, maybe we should let more people see it and see if they're interested as well, and I would very much appreciate it. Okay, 4 ships that are getting their naming ceremony. We just had the Mardi Gras, and the Mardi Gras had their naming ceremony. They had Miss Universe there, they had Shaq there, and it was a big deal for the Mardi Gras. And I kind of wish I was able to go to that naming ceremony, but I wasn't invited. So, all right, fine. I know where they're... I guess I'm not important. Go! All right. But the next cruise lines coming out, we have the Apex is going to have their naming ceremony coming up this weekend, starting on the 31st all the way to the 4th. There's 2 separate cruises, I think the second one is the naming ceremony. We also have the Odyssey of the Seas is having their naming ceremony on the 11th of November. And coming up on MSC, the brand new Seashore is also going to have her naming ceremony on their private island as well. So we have 4 brand new ships all sailing in North America right now, and all are going to have their big naming ceremonies saying, hey, we're here. Come on aboard. And a lot of people are going to be putting out videos showing you all the different things on these ships, and you can make up your mind which ship you think is right for you. And there have been positive on some ships and negatives on some ships, but isn't it exciting to have brand new cruise ships sailing finally once again, and things to look forward to. Speaking of brand new cruise ships, Royal Caribbean also had a momentous, if you would say, yeah, a momentous moment in their building of their new Icon class. Now, this ship is pretty hush-hush. The design is pretty hush-hush. The only thing anyone really knows is that it's going to be an LNG-fueled cruise ship, but they're keeping a lot of secrets. What's going to be on board? What's the changes? Are they going to have neighborhoods like Royal Caribbean's Oasis class? What kind of things are they coming up with this brand new designed cruise ship? Well, their momentous occasion, well, they started installing the LNG fuel tanks. That's a big step when it comes to, once those fuel tanks are in there, that's a big step in the design. And these things were huge and very kind of cool looking. But that is a big step. Now, the ship is not expected to debut until the fall of 2023, but that's another new ship to look forward to coming in the future. Not only a new ship, a completely new design for a ship. And, you know, when the Wonder of the Seas, it's a new ship, but it's an Oasis class ship, right? The Odyssey of the Seas, it's a big new ship. It's a Quantum ship, Quantum Plus. So we've seen these ships before, but the Icon, that's going to be something completely different, and I can't wait to see what some of those designs on that ship begin to look like. Well, I hope you appreciate this little video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.